We've got buffs to 3 of the weakest ADCs, being Ezreal, Kalista, and Yunara, while nerfs to Diana and Morgana are on the way, and starting items are going to receive some pretty interesting changes as well. So we're here to break everything down for you and provide you guys with all the changes that you can expect to reach live servers on Wednesday, October 22nd. But first, some hard truths here. YouTube is built for the algorithm, not your LP, and that means the clickbait titles, the junk food topics, and the stretching of simple tips just for watch time. We are part of that system too. Let's face it, just like every other guide and YouTube channel out there. And because every video is randomly surfaced to you as a singular guide and topic, advice, well, it often contradicts what you just watched. No context, no plan, more confusion. Now on our website at Skillcapped, however, we are free from all of that mess, allowing us to focus on what actually matters. We teach you in the most efficient way to really rank you up and rank you up fast with the same premium editing and challenger level coaches you see here, just without the algorithm hoops. So you could start with our essentials courses for every single role, updated for season 15. These are meticulously planned step-by-step guides that build your fundamentals in the right order. And once you finish the essentials, move on to the advanced courses. Take a deep dive into wave control, advanced mechanics, the proven bronze to diamond climb paths, and literal world record jungle clears for each jungler, all structured so lessons stack instead of contradict like on YouTube. Now, while you follow these learning paths, we also release our popular challenger walkthroughs, new sessions every week showing how to abuse the best meta champs for your elo. And it's all supported with an AMA section below each and every video, which we always respond to. And we back all of it with a Climb 5 Divisions improvement guarantee while you're actively using Skillcapped, plus a 30-day refund change of mind policy on top of that. So there is literally no risk. Stop trying to mix and match random guides on YouTube and start following a structured path far away from all that noise. Click the limited time discount link below to join Skillcapped today. So starting off with the item changes, these are definitely some of the more interesting item changes that we have seen in a while, as Doran's blade is going to have its lifesteal removed. Now in exchange, you're now going to get a passive that heals for 2.5% of damage dealt. This heal is going to be reduced by 33% for AoE spells and spell pets. So basically, you're now going to be able to heal from dealing damage with abilities. Doran's ring is being adjusted as well, with the mana regen per second going from 1.25 to 1. However, that regen will be increased to 2 per second for 5 seconds after damaging an enemy champion. So you're going to be rewarded more for being aggressive with this change, while it's a nerf if you're super passive. And Doran's shield is next in line for some changes, as the max heal after taking damage is dropping from 45 to 40 for melee champs, and it's going to stay the same for ranged. So just a flat out nerf to Doran's shield with this one. Now on top of Doran's shield losing regen, Second Wind will no longer provide as much healing after taking damage in the early game, as it's going to go from 4% of missing health plus 3 flat to just 4% missing health. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on how these item changes influence the meta, because especially for top lane, ranged champs are indirectly buffed while melee champs are nerfed. And then there is one more item nerf going live for this patch, with Catalyst losing some health as it's dropping from 350 to 300. So onto the champion changes now. First on the buff list for this patch is Bard. Bard is going to have his W heal AP ratio increased from 30 scaling to 60% to 40 scaling to 70%, while his W movement speed AP ratio is up from 5 to 6%. So these changes are just going to further incentivize Leandris as a second purchase on Bard for solo queue, as it's just been his best performing second purchase in recent patches. Ezreal has been pretty weak for a while now, so he's now getting buffed for this patch, with his AD growth going from 2.75 to 3.25. Now Ashe got this exact same buff just a few patches ago, and it led to her win rate going up by a little bit over 1%, so we can expect something similar here for Ezreal. Kalista is also going to receive an AD growth buff, as it's going up from 4.25 to 4.75. So nothing that's going to turn Kalista into like a meta ADC right now, but she is going to gain somewhere between 1 and 2% win rate for this patch. Now since Riot's nerfing Second Wind and Doran's shield, they are going to be directly buffing one of its users, as Yone is going to have his base AD increased from 60 to 62. So I guess we could surmise that Riot feels like Yone is already in a weaker state, so the nerfs to Second Wind and Doran's shield would just put him below where they wanted to be, E, which is why he's getting a compensation buff. Yunara has been a bottom 3 win rate ADC for the past few patches, so she is going to receive a ton of changes for 25.21. The numbers are being shifted around on W, with its base going up. However, the total AD ratio is being swapped for a bonus AD ratio. So what we're going to have to do is head over to the PBE and see how the damage compares from this patch to next, and we're going to have that info for you guys in the 25.21 tier list video. E movement speed is no longer going to decay on Yunara. E and RE cooldowns are going up from 7.5 to 9 seconds. A bug fix is being issued so that E is now going to properly lose its enhanced movement speed when turning away from champions. RW damage is being adjusted so that the base is up, while the total AD ratio is being swapped for a bonus AD ratio. Riot has stated that this will be a nerf most of the time, but we're going to have the exact numbers as to how significant this is in our 25.21 tier list. A nerf to Diana is on the way, with her passive monster damage being reduced from 300 to 280%. Kogmaw is going to receive a nerf as his Q passive attack speed is dropping from 10 scaling to 30% to 5 scaling to 25%. Morgana is getting nerfed, but definitely not in as significant of a way as we were expecting, as her armor growth is going down from 5 to 4.2. Qiyana is being tagged with 2 nerfs, with health growth going down from 124 to 121, and Q bonus AD ratio is being lowered from 90 to 85%. 2 Quinn Nerfs are on the way, with her Q bonus AD ratio going down from 80 scaling to 120% to 80 scaling to 100%. R damage is being adjusted from a 70% total AD ratio to now having a base value of 60 scaling to 120 and a 30% bonus AD ratio. Mundo is going to receive 1 buff and 1 nerf, as his armor growth is going up from 3.7 to 4.5. However, his E active bonus health ratio drops from 7 to 5%. Graves is going to receive a pretty interesting adjustment, with his base magic resist dropping. However, you're now going to gain magic resist from E, as it'll now be 2 scaling to 8 magic resist per stack. And then Gwen is actually going to be reverting back to the champion she was in 25.5. Now, let's be clear here that this is unlike anything that we have really ever seen before, as Riot have walked back certain changes from one patch to the next, but to completely revert a champion back to their state from earlier in the season is something we've really never seen done before. So what does that mean for Gwen? Well, she's actually received a ton of different changes from 25.5 to now, so there's a lot that's getting reverted. If we look back at our 25.5 tier list, we had Gwen rated in the top lane A tier, so we should expect her to be a good top lane pick for this upcoming patch, as she had been really struggling in recent patches.
Okay guys, one last thing. Our rank up guarantee is absolutely insane. It's kind of like signing up for the gym and then just getting a refund if you don't get ripped. That's how confident we are in Skillcapped. We obsess over making the best guides with the top players, the rigorous testing, and top tier video editing to make your climb as easy as possible. If you're ready to level up, just visit skillcapped.com and literally see the difference.
So there you have it, everyone. Those are all the changes that are going to be coming to live servers for 25.21, which is going to drop on Wednesday, October 22nd. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.